What up, everybody? Yeah, just figured we'd get fired up here and maybe do a little bit of something. Yep, it's the 22nd birthday, right? Yep, we'll go with that. Picture. Gonna quietly work away. So hopefully we'll be able to do what we're trying to do. I've played around with a little of the Gitpod stuff. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of Gitpod. And then we just, whatever else topic y'all want to go to or how long y'all want to see it. You don't see me. I see myself on delay, Will. Anybody else having video problems? Unless it's severely behind for some reason. Maybe refresh, Will. I don't know. I've got another window on the other side where I can see the stream that shows green, and of course it's a few seconds behind or whatever. So maybe you're trying to rewind or something. So I guess back, has anybody ever heard of Gitpod? See if I can cut down on my uhs. Too many things on the brain. So there was a thing on Tasmota recently that they released a wiki entry on it on Gitpod. And I know I did a previous live stream on how to compile Tasmota, and you got to install Platform IO and like Visual Studio Code. I played around with this the other day. It was real quick. I only had about 10-15 minutes to mess with it. And so we'll just start fresh. This was before they did the wiki entry. So I was just kind of fumbling through it. So we'll see if we can follow through on this thing. But basically, you'll be able to compile your own Tasmota without any installing anything. So imagine it's like a Docker container or an add-on in the cloud, and you can set up your own options you want in Tasmota. Like say if you want to burn in your own Wi-Fi passwords or IDs. A lot of the stuff that I do, I like to, some of those sensors on there, I'm not going to ever use some of those sensors. And so I'll just comment out a lot of those different sensors, and it gets the compile size down to, because typically with a lot of the chips, you only got that megabyte of flash space, and you got to fit, when you do an over-the-air flash, you have to fit both in the flash space at one time. So if that's where you come in with that minimal, because minimal is like 300 and something K, so you may flash like the sensors module, which is I think like 580 or something. I'm trying to remember what the size was on that one. If they even list the sizes on here, it's not. They're not showing the sizes. I think if you must be all the way at the bottom now. I haven't downloaded one off here in a while. Yeah, here's the sizes. So yeah, the basic is 432, classic is 485. There was the sensors in here. Here's the sensors. 545 is the sensors. And so, of course, you can't fit two of them in there at the same time. So typically you have to do the minimal flash and then do the other one. Now, if you do the over-the-air flash in the GUI, it will automatically pick up and use the minimal and then flash the one you wanted using the over-the-air with the links. With the, what I'm talking about, with if you're doing this one, where you're doing the OTA URL, if you just do start upgrade, it'll automatically will, if it needs to, not saying I don't keep saying your name on purpose, Will. It will flash the minimal for you, reboot, and then it will go ahead and flash the one that you wanted in there. So, and so what I like to do is I take a lot of the different sensors out. So let's go ahead and go through what the GetPod thing shows. So yeah, it was pretty good day. Except for all the rain we've been getting lately. So I was able to went out and had fun cleaning out gutters in the middle of the rainstorm, and a drain in the backyard, went unclogged that thing, and but then the kids came over, and the grandkids came over, of course, and then we just cooked some chicken and stuff for lunch and different food. That was about it. So just a typical thing. So in GitPod. So in GitPod, if you do need a GitHub account. So once you do a GitHub account, if you don't already have one, go sign up for one, and then you have to link your GitPod, which is when you log in, it just wants to do the authorization to GitHub, and you just have to do like your password and hit allow, and it will go in. So we go to the app and GitPod. I'm gonna struggle with that one all night, right? Yeah, Glenn, grandkids. Thinking about buying a 3D printer. Doesn't know I got one. He's considering Ender 3 too. Let's just say he ordered tonight. But you got to make him order 2 of them, Will. Now, aren't there like a bunch of different models of the Ender 3? I got back in December that the Prusa MK3, I think it is. I can't remember which one it is. So it took me a little bit to put together, but it was a good to do. I started early, Glenn. Started way early. We'll just put it to you that way. So to create a new workspace, okay, no, that's fine. We can always jump back and forth. 3D printing is always a good one. So this will go through signing your GitHub, your Gitpod. After you successfully sign in, you can start your personal project. The fastest way to load Tasmota into Gitpod is with one of these links. Oh, that's cool. They go ahead and they do link the exact one, and we won't start with development. Now, of course, if you want to do development, and you can make multiple, look like you could do multiple ones. So like you could do a development one and then do a master release one. So this is the cool part right here, is because it's kind of like based on like Platform IO, it takes care of all the software dependencies, like all the different libraries and everything that Tasmota needs, and it just loads them right up. So we're just going to stick with the master release, which is 6.5.0 right now. And we'll fire up the link. Prefix any, okay, there it goes. And if this isn't large enough, let me know and I'll zoom in on the screen here. So it looks very much like VSC, if you've ever used VSC before. So it's loading all the package dependencies, and it's actually compiling right now. Looks like it's compiling with these just default stuff that basically what Tasmota does. So while that compiles, so of course, that's very difficult what we've done so far. But so that's pretty cool that you don't have to install anything. You just do this on the web and let somebody else's computer do it, right? So of course I lost my link. I'm gonna leave that one up. All right, so we go back to, after loading the project, you can be greeted with the main window presenting 3 panels. It says that they're using the live share component of VSC. Yeah, maybe. Explorer, editor, and terminal. Okay, so yes, here's the Explorer, this typical, the editor, and then you got the terminal where it compiles. So proper method of customizing firmware is in user config override. Most customizations. Well, I don't normally fit most customizations. So we'll see how that works out. So once it's compiled, it looks like you're down at the terminal here. And what they're talking about is editing, like say your Wi-Fi things. And this always gets me, these when they talk about GitHub and Travis, Travis TI and all that. That's just I always wonder why they call it that. So I think they just name it after me. Is what it is. So now I don't know. I don't know if Gitpod's been around for a while. I'm not sure. So so we'll go to Sonoff and let's look in, because this is smaller. This is all going to be cut off. I do have it in a really small window here. There's one called User Override. And inside here is they do give you a little bit of stuff. I'm passing through all the common stuff out. This is that dark green stuff. So if you wanted to put in your you wanted to burn your own SSID in, then of course you would come in here and you probably, with all the stuff I skipped, it was saying how to do it. Copy this file, be ignored. Define there, use. So that's probably already configured. But I guess I was going here to show there's not a whole lot of stuff that you can do in here. You can set your SSID, you can set your host, you can set MQ2T stuff, you can burn that in. The Wi-Fi IP address, and that's it. I mean, I'm not trying to bash on anybody, but I like to do more than that. So I normally don't modify that one. I go ahead and don't follow the rules, and I use my user config. And I modify this one because there's several different pieces I like to do in here. And like, for instance, how we can do, as a little test, we can see I can build one as, say, like that for 2-year convert. And see this module right here? If you set it to Wemos, probably because if you think Tasmota was built with this Sonoffs, so if you set it to Wemos, that was probably the first like generic. So I know we're all used to putting, I think it's even know the thanks, Ash. So number 18 I think is generic. So you can set one right off the bat if you just put it as Wemos, which is going to be generic. So typically I skip all that. Here's the big one right here, especially for 2-year convert. And I like to copy and paste, is see the Wi-Fi Manager, and I know you've heard me talk about it 1,000 times, is I like to put both of these in here as Wi-Fi Manager. And thanks, Matheson. So basically that's always going to be as Wi-Fi Manager, so you can mess up on your SSID and your password as much as you want. Which we know we've always heard all the things about bricking the smart plugs and everything. So we can put that as Wi-Fi Manager. I usually don't change anything else in here. I'm just scrolling down. Now you can, if you want to make it easy. Matheson, we're doing compiling Tasmota without installing anything. You just, on the web, you can go compile your own Tasmota and put in all your configuration you want. Oh, and I did pass up the SSID, didn't I? So if you want to put your SSID in, we can say my cool network. Thanks, Jay. And SSID, password is because I said. Of course, you want to put in what you want in there. Now, those are basically, because this is what I do. it makes it very simple. Is I got a bin that covers most of my switches and types, and I have my SSID and password in there, and I put it right on my 2U convert, and as soon as I send over that bin, it flashes over, and I flip over, and boom, I can see the IP on my UniFi controller, and I get right into Tasmota and do what I got to do. It literally takes a minute or two per device. I can sit there and cycle through them. One thing you want to do, I like to set some of the settings here, is power retain. I put a 1 in there. I normally don't use, I haven't in a long time, used button retain or switch retain ever since we've done rules. So but I do power retain because that way you'll get the power status during the Home Assistant reboots. I don't change anything in here, the MQTT. This is where I will start. I'll do some changes here. If you want to really get picky with the NTP, you can if you want. If you want to put in your own daylight savings time stuff, that you can do that right here. I did on mine. The settings are kind of weird. I can share those later if we want to. The latitude, longitude for like your sunrise and sunset, I'll put those in. Hey, what's up, Paul? And I'm just scrolling on through. If you want to do, depending on if you want to do your Celsius or Fahrenheit, you can set that for if you got temperature conversion. It defaults to Celsius. And then this is where I start to change some of my sensors. I don't use this, so that's like, see, this is 6K of code that comes off. And someone will probably tell me how to shortcut this. I forgot what it was in there where you can do it's like control something. I'm not sure if it'll do it in here. If you want the Home Assistant, like you're using set option 19, you'll leave this in here. Yeah, it's super weird. Yeah, that minus 240 is a control. It's control. I wonder if it'll work. Control / Yeah, it does work from the cloud thing. Some of the stuff I comment out is like the Belkin Wemo and Hue bridge emulation. Some people use that. I don't. So, but that's, you can see right here, that's 16K of code that you can save. So, control / the discovery stuff, now you're going to need that for, I believe, for the MQTT host discovery. No, that's MQTT host discovery. We can leave those in. I don't know if that if these in here use that for Home Assistant, that set option 19. These are, if you use the timers and the sunrise, you can put those in there. This is another one right here that people will typically want, because if you ever use the A0 pin for like an analog sensor, the only one that's enabled for that is that sensors one. Otherwise, it shows the voltage of like the ESP chip, which is kind of goofy. And I believe there was a poll on Tasmota GitHub they're going to change that where it uses the A0 all the time, and you'd have to compile to go back the other way if you wanted the voltage off the chip. So this is like there's that Dallas sensor right here. Then you get to the I2C stuff, and you can see there's quite a few sensors that are turned on. If I'm just going to do a simple switch, I use the as you can copy from version to version. But yeah, Paul, there's not many stuff in there. Like we looked at that first. There's not many. You can't edit all these sensors out. I like to edit all the sensors out to bring down my flash size, so I'm not having to. It makes it easy to send over, and it probably maybe runs a little better given it's just the code I need. So I2C. Oh, you can copy them over? Okay, maybe I didn't read enough. So maybe we'll try that after this. So we'll try, let me edit some of these out real quick. So I killed all the I squared C. That kills all those. I don't want all of these. Is there, can't you highlight and do a big block? I think can we do, you can do it, oh, okay, undefined command. Yeah, I guess you could do that. Control, yeah, you go the whole block at a time. We want the 2-year dimmer. I use those, of course. I'll use the PZM. IR remote. No, we won't use the IR remote. We'll leave 2812 in. This is another one that you probably have to compile for. If you've ever used the WS2812, is right here. You know that you can only, thanks Julius, you can only change the color order, which if you get like, red is green or blue, etc., and you have to put RGB or GRB depending on your chip, you can have to compile, and the only way to do that is compiling. So this is going to make it real simple for doing that stuff. And we'll see if we can compile this thing. If I can, how many more we got? That's it. And this one is that bulb, the SM16716. That's the LED driver for that bulb, with that Fate bulb and the Mercury bulbs. Some of the Mercury, the color Mercury bulbs use this driver right here. So let's see if we can do a save. And what do they say now? In the editor, add or remove anything. Open platform INO and scroll down to the bottom. Oh, this is the D. So you have to put this in there for the config override. See, we kind of skipped that part. So we'll see if we can do that. So now one thing I want to do in the platform IO INI is change the core version. I know everybody's heard about the core version. And I only want, which I'm not going to jump ahead. Let's see if they talk about that first. When you're done, save all your edits. Oh, okay. Well, I just want the regular Sonoff. And then I want core 2.3.0. I've always had better luck with core 2.30. So you typically, they're in here. There it is. Okay, it already is. It's already right here. If these were uncommented, they were like commented out, uncommented, it'd be like 2.42 or 2.50, and you can change your core version if you like the different. But I know you remember the previous version, people had issues with different core versions. I've had better luck with 2.3.0. So let's go ahead and save. And when you're done, save all your edits. Now you're ready to compile. The action is done. Oh, see, I didn't have that one I did where I uncommented that Sonoff. I didn't have to do that. So to use undefined. Okay, so you say undefined. Okay, because you would say, they're just saying define, then you say undefined. Same. So I think what Paul is showing us, and appreciate that, Paul. Let me go in here right quick. That's a good point, because then I should actually do that instead of editing what I just did. That may take you a little bit to make your first one, but see, they're saying define, like this, say define this PZM004T. Well, then Paul is saying if you would have to do a hashtag undefined, use XYZ, put that in your my user. Is it my user override? Yeah. And put that in there, and then you don't ever have to go edit this my user config. So it just may take you a while to put several of these in there to take out the undefineds. But the big key to that is when you progress versions, you don't have to come and do all these edits again, because when they make changes, there's kind of like, I wouldn't say breaking changes, but when they'll just add other sensors in there, or they may modify some other sensors. So then if you copy over your file from a previous version, then you may be missing something, or it won't compile because it's missing a certain, variable it needs or whatnot. So all right, so yeah, we didn't need that variant name. What I edited real quick, we'll put it back, is right here. Typically, when you're editing on you just want to you just want, it says uncomment one of the lines to build, but we don't need, we're actually going to put that on the command line, so, or the terminal prompt. So that's it. You'll do platform IO run -e Sonoff. We'll actually copy that and paste it in and hit enter. And we'll see what we get. So while that compiles, you can run your different variants. Like if you want Sonoff sensors, you could do that. Compilation takes a couple of minutes. The time it takes is directly related to configurations. Yep. When you're done, you'll find your binary in the PIO environments and the variant name, which I'm used to doing that. So, but yeah, Will, this is very cool because you don't have to go install anything. You can just do what you want. And then this is your GetPod workspace. Now, it looked like you could do a share of a workspace. So like I could put one and then share it with you, and then you could make modifications type things. So I'm looking in here, it skipped all those. So one thing you're looking for is when it says right here, it says success. That's the key right there. Now, also, you'll notice, since we did cut out a lot of stuff, is right here, the file looked like it was like 445K or so, but we'll look when we download it. And it does say success. But any OTA will take a generic. Yeah, it will do the generic version again. Right, exactly. I did a little OTA. There is an OTA server actually that comes with Tasmota. I did a live stream way back on that, but maybe we'll cover that again. That one was one of those cringeworthy live streams from back in the day, but it's still up there if you want to go see it. That was the one I did. I showed the little server on my laptop, and I posted the upgrade command to all of my devices in the house at one time, and you could see them all take and reflash. And then, yeah, you would need to change the get address. I changed it to like a local IP for mine in that stream. We could do that again another time. So let's go download it. I don't know if I have something I can flash to that. Well, I don't want to do that because I put a fake SSID and password. So if you look in Sonoff Tasmota and see it's PIO environments, you'll see this is going to based on the variant you put, Sonoff. Now scroll all the way down and you should have firmware bin. And that's it. Well, and of course, it's not going to pull up anything, but it showed it anyway. Download the firmware bin. Oh, and there's it. Cool. So that's pretty cool. There's even a browser extension for Chrome and Firefox. I should have scrolled down further to begin with, right? So how do you download the files? Okay, so just right-click it and hit download. And we have firmware bin. And let me see what size. It actually, I got too much junk in this folder, and otherwise, let me hold up. New folder, stream. So I already had a a bin in firmware bin, so it named it firmware parentheses bin. But you can see it made a bin file. It's only 438K. Yeah, if it don't connect to the Wi-Fi, it will drop the AP mode. You're correct. Very correct. Think of what I have within arm's reach. I can flash. I have an S20, I think. I can grab. Let me see. Yeah, it's not going to connect, of course, but well, it probably will, because I think I had Tasmota on here before. So let's see. All right, I need both. Let me pull up. I don't know if that one came back up on the Wi-Fi controller. Let me see. You're making me forget my exact thing I tell everybody. Like, do Wi-Fi Manager mode. Yep, you can see we have 1010 186 on that. And I will zoom this in here. So that's a good example. Let me make this window. So y'all can see something that's going on. Do it live, they said. All right. Is the chat box still on here? Yep, okay. So on this one actually I was playing with, I had 6.5.06 on here. So everything can go wrong, Paul. Apparently I'm good at breaking OBS. So I don't know, it was one night I was walking the dog, listening to the Dr. Z's live stream, and we're doing some super chats, and I saw that YouTube Premium, which I didn't even know, does like you can do free super chats every once in a while. And so I was gonna do one to him, and I saw it said $2, and so I went ahead and sent it, and then apparently his OBS crashed after that. So. And somehow he got kind of regained control. So let's do a firmware upgrade. This one's just going to be by the choose file. And yeah, it was kind of funny. Not that I meant to. I guess one of the animations didn't like when it died. So, which. I turned on animations for any alerts or stuff here with the chat box, but I haven't got any new subs or any super chats to test it out. So we'll see one day. So we're putting on the firmware that we just downloaded. We'll do start upgrade, and it's probably not going to override because I've had Tasmota on here before. So it's probably going to come right back up on the Wi-Fi once it does the, let's see. 1.86. Yeah, let's see if it comes back up. Yeah, there it is. Because I've already had, now of course that would have been a new device, and it did reuse the config in there. But you can see here it is, 6.50. This is the firmware that we made. If you look in information, the build date and time right here, there it is in the future. I guess that's probably the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT or whatever, or is it UTC? I know, probably the same thing, right? So there it is. And you can see, because we cut a few things out, you have free, because the program size is 437, you have free program space, you got 564. So you could come back in easily with another one without doing a two-step flash. And it does give you a little bit more memory free on these, which there isn't a whole lot to begin with on these ESP8266s. So it's pretty cool to go in here and just build your own. It's kind of, I'll have to say, it's, did that connect from being MAC address reserved? Did that? No, basically, if it was from the, because I had this previous one connected with, I had it, because the way Tasmota works is, say for instance, you've had, say, 6.4 dot, I don't know, 1, right? And then, so you got it in a box, and then you take it out, and we plug it out. Say you just even plug it up with USB or whatnot, and you just flash it. Well, if there's a config already on there that it can find, it will use that config. So the downside to that, yeah, if they're persistent. That's the word, persistent. And what's even crazy is I've even had them being so persistent that I'll actually flash something to ESP Home, and have it all set up in Tasmota, and flash it to ESP Home, use it for several weeks in ESP Home, and then flash it back to Tasmota, and it's already set up with its name, MQTT, Wi-Fi, and everything, because it pulled that config that was still flashed to it. So the downside to that, though, is if you have a bad config, if the config file store, I believe so, Paul. Just it's the same thing those scare, I call them scare tactic articles, where people can they're going through and saying, oh, if they steal your light bulb, they can hack your Wi-Fi. The typical person isn't going to go download the bin off your light bulb. They probably don't even know how to solder to it and stuff. So if someone that knowledgeable is trying to hack your place, then you're probably not going to do it through a light bulb. Yeah, Will, actually what I use is that NodeMCU Pi flasher, and you don't have to flash that blank bin. And I'm pulling it up here while we're talking. And I'll send the link to this one. And so I like using this one, Pi Flasher. It's weird to download. And I'll show you the GUI here in a second. Go in. Here's the link to it. And if you go under releases, and you think immediately, oh, let me just click the exe right here. Well, no, these are antivirus reports. Go down to assets, and you got the 64-bit and then the 32-bit version, and then the DMG, I think, is the Mac OS version. So, and it looks like this. So really simple. You pick your serial port, and then this is just a refresh button. You'll browse, pick your firmware. You can even, some chips, some like the Wemos and stuff, and you can set the baud rate higher if you want to flash them faster. But I find, of course, the faster you flash them, the more risk you might have a corrupt flash. So I'm not that much in a hurry. I'll just use the 115K. But one thing you do want to change, most everything's going to be the D out. Change the D out, and then here's the cool thing. Is, yeah, exactly, Will, is yes, wipes all data. And then you'll just hit flash. And of course, if you're, if it's a Wemos D1 or a NodeMCU, of course, you don't have to hold like, the D0 not D0, GPIO 0. Now, of course, it's other devices. You will have to do that. Just hit flash MCU and go. And it will do the wipe all data, and then it will flash without you having to power cycle anything, so which is cool. Actually, I burned a DVD today. It felt weird. I had to go dig in a box. So I got my Blue Iris computer in today. I didn't think it was coming in today, but it came in, and they had Windows on it already, but the whole trust thing. So I went and downloaded from Microsoft the ISO of Windows 10, and which is cool the way they do that now. Just download straight from them and burn the. I could have done it to a USB, but I said let's go do it to a DVD and do it that way, and pulled right up and was activated. So I haven't finished messing with it yet. So I just migrated some stuff over to it. So anybody got any other topics? Anything else burning desire to talk about? Questions, concerns, hates, anything like that? Still no many. Yeah, I actually still have a box running Windows 7. So I have a question about rule timers. Okay. So rule timers, we can actually mess with this one. Hold your 3D printer thing, man. So what do you mean the rule timer is not... Oh, wow, Windows 95. That's cool. Yeah, I still actually prefer Windows 7 over Windows 10. Probably one of my just favorites. Windows 95 was, wow. Yeah, XP was, which printer do I have? Will probably knows. Is the MK2, I don't know which one I have. i3 MK2S, I think I have. Yeah, that's the one I have. Yeah, MK2, they called it MK2S or something like that. It's the one they discontinued, I think, or they stopped selling or something like that. So, yeah, so I bought that off from Paul. I want to say Paul. It's Paul Morley, I think it was. I don't know. I see his name in Discord, and I know who it is. So he went off. I went off my recommendation. He wanted me, I think, to get the one above it, but I was just like, it's a little bit out of my budget. So yeah, I wanted to go. Yeah, Paul Morley. I wanted to go just without having to fuss with anything and the least amount of time. But I did buy the kit and spent like much of Christmas Day putting it together, I believe. So I still think I need to fine tune some stuff. I haven't printed out any ABS yet, Tim. And yeah, we'll get back with you, Basic Pilot. It counts down but doesn't activate Rule 1 on switch. Do backlog power on timer. So let's mess with that right quick. Let me copy and paste your rule out. And thanks for getting us back on track, Basic Pilot. I guess that's a good thing. You keep things on track. Are you really a pilot? He makes his own ABS filament. On switch 1, drone pilot. Okay. I still a pilot, right? We'll still call it that. Hey, Jerry, thanks. Appreciate that. Now, does the alert work? Look, here we go. Cool, the alert does work. So rule 1 on switch 1 states, so you're doing the single press, you're doing a backlog, it turns the power on, and then that's rule timer 1. That was weird. Why did my video just jump? It sets rule timer 1 at 10, end on timer. Oh, I think it's there's different. It's different. Hold up. Tasmota rules. I think it's like on rule time. It's on rule timer, I think. Yeah, rules timer on rules timer is what it's going to be. So let's give it a shot. Did we get it right? On rules timer 1, do power 1 in on. I think this one, for the sake of things, is just an S20. So it's just going to be as a we were goofing off with this one with a template one day. It's just going to be a button. So we'll use button. We'll change that to button. Yep. Okay. So we'll change your rule 1. Wired GPO 9 and 10 red. That's for an ESP8285. I'll show you that here in a second. Let's do on button 1 state. I think it's just one. Does it just say state? Let's just try state 1. I haven't used button in a while. So rule timer 1, end on. It should be do power off, end on. And then rule 1, 1, turn it on. So let's give it a shot. The rule kick off. No, what's the button state? I don't remember the button state for that. Rule 1. Button state, do publish test, but value, and on. I want to see what the rule is actually doing. Oh, it's just 2. It's just 2. So we'll put the rule back in here. Real easy cheat way if you're trying to figure out what your button states are without looking it up. You can just see, I don't know if you just saw what I did to figure out the states. All right, so let's do that. And then we'll turn it off and we'll push the button. So you should be able to see. Hey, I appreciate it, Firespire. Oh, wow, you did do, that's great. Appreciate it. So there's it on. I need to do find me some animations now that are pretty decent. So you can see it did set the timer for 10, and then there it goes. So it's just, I don't know if you saw that. Maybe you saw basic pilot. Yep. So here's the rule here. Now, of course, you'll need to change it. You were close. You'll need to change it back to your switch. I think you had switch state, but because I did it as button. But of course, you know how to change. The only part you had it wrong was you just say on rules # timer equals 1. And so it does work good. So it turns on for 10. You can see the red LED and turn it on for 10 seconds. And then it should turn off. And there it goes. And the blinking green, I think I have the LED status going on MQTT packets. Close only counts in horseshoe. Yeah, that's it. So that's a cool way. I like using the rules timer to do different things. It's pretty cool, and I'm digging more into the variables of things. So, which one thing I'm working on tonight and this evening is using some variables. I'm hoping to get it to work. I have it worked out in my mind, but I don't know if it's going to work out in the code. So, was there another question someone had? We were just talking about. Yes, that would. There's a pull request out there. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic if I bumped it. There's a pull request out there, and I don't know if, because there all the time I'm like, hey, I want to do if then if that on do this, and there's kind of some ways to do it, but man, it's like around the world to do things. Um, yes, it sure does. Basically, that's one thing I like with the device manager. There's TDM. And if my audio is too hot, I can see the audio hitting red. I'm probably talking too loud. If I see the go in there and it has the variables, you can see them in real time. No, I haven't put any of my has config files on GitHub. I do have most of the secrets not in there. I just don't. I'm probably not the best for what I have going on in Home Assistant. Most of my automations are all in NodeRed, and that's due to just because when I first started learning Home Assistant, I did a couple automations. It was copying and pasting things out of the forums and stuff. But it was not long after that someone had said, "Hey, here's NodeRed, and here's how you use it." And I don't think there was an add-on for it yet, but I was using a regular Docker container anyway. So I went ahead and just installed it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" And so all of my automations, because I learned NodeRed first over the automations, are all in NodeRed. So, so what's up, Bobby? Bobby rolling in just in time, right? We were just talking about you, Bobby. So I want to go back. Let's jump back to give me inputs on both inputs on the output. I haven't know if I've used the and where it splits off. Yeah, that's a good one to keep the secrets out. Fresh off a date. Now, you got to send us a picture, Bobby. Somehow. No, don't post any pictures you date. We don't want to get involved with that. And have somebody hating on us. So I should be able to, once you go into Gitpod, not good he came home. Maybe he's that good where he's like, hey, wait. I got to get on the live stream real quick. Just hang on. That's what it is. We'll go with that one. So it looks like in here, yeah, I'll try to answer. Maybe we'll pop in the NodeRed there. I want to kind of close this up. You can have multiple ones, and I could do a share, it looks like. Or it's archive. Let's go ahead and stop. I saw somewhere it's about sharing somewhere. We'll go ahead and stop it. And I guess make sure that you do. Oh, yeah. Okay. We can do that, Sean. So it says stopping. How long does it take to stop? Or you have to refresh it? I thought I saw a share in here or something you could do. So there's oh, there it is. Why they put the share as a lock? What the hell? That's strange. What's that do? Oh. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. Okay, I was thinking it would share it with like a unlisted way. Share, I guess you could share. I get the lock now. Duh. I guess if you're making it public versus private. So of course, if you're putting your own stuff in there, you make sure the lock is on. Yeah, there. Look, the Will's got it right there. So let's talk about the LOHAS color and white being on at the same time. So I'm not much up on that. Maybe there's some ESP Home pros in here. I know there were some other people that had split those. I saw one configuration where they split it where, because the problem is, if everybody doesn't know, is, and I'll pull up my outside light is a LOHAS color. If I can find it in my mess of stuff. There it is. So the way the LOHAS, because the LOHAS has, I couldn't use Tasmota on it because it has I went blank with the name of that chip. But the LED driver has two white channels. So like a channel 1 is white and like channel 2 is white. And so I had, in Tasmota, you couldn't do that. So I know a lot of people, there you go, Jerry, is they've split them where they actually have a white bulb and then they have a color bulb. And you could do an automation in Home Assistant or NodeRed or whatever it is to monitor that state, and you could turn it off and on, or you could just not turn it on and off. But the problem is in the ESP Home with the standard, and this, you're just the regular integration, if you come in here and hit white value, it just turns up the white. Well, all that's doing is turning up the white channel that's on that light, and it doesn't impact the color at all. Now, of course, visually it impacts the color because now you're mixing that probably 5,000 or 5,500K color LEDs with the color you have, so it really washes it out. And there's two channels. They're really bright bulbs. The brightness actually does the color of the color LED channels. So, but if you using Tasmota on a different device, like I'll show you on one of my downlights here, as soon as I come in here and put, say I want it to be red, and you can see on my, kind of probably saw on my right side, there's a shade of red. I guess it'd be, I don't know, left because the video's turned, that's what it is. Confuses me. It automatically turns the white value off for you. Now, so people, yeah, basically they're making two entities of one bulb. And then if you turn on the white, it automatically, you can see it turns the color channel off. So that's what people are, and it's actually funny, someone else was running the other way on Tasmota. Now Tasmota, you can just change the template and you can have it the way ESP Home is. I don't know of a way to do it in ESP Home without maybe doing some sort of automation. Maybe there's some sort of automation you could do on the bulb itself. I'm just not 100% on doing the automations with colors on ESP Home. I would probably go with the two entities. That just seems kind of simple to me and straightforward. So we had a couple NodeRed questions. Alexa announcement on a binary sensor. And Sean had one, if you need more rule, I asked for a while, but a manual switch that is triggered, go to a certain, I'm going to say a certain brightness and say warm white or NodeRed. Explain more what you're talking about, Sean. So you're, no, they haven't, I've asked about them doing, it can do it. It's just the implementation to do the config in a tight way. Tim, I guess Tima, I don't know how you say your name. I would probably butcher it. I'll just calling you Tim. If I feed the AND gate, we'll have to look at the AND gate too. So let's fire up let's look at NodeRed. me turn this off of here. We don't need. Well, if I get the camera off of here, I need me a Stream Deck one day. I know Doc. I think Doc has one that just makes it so much easier and just mash a button, right? Say I set it to 30%. Maybe we'll try to work in that AND gate too. Say I set it to 30% warm white, turn it off, then it turns back on, it's still 30 and too dark. I want it to go to 100% on cool white or whatever. And you just want it, so like I'm assuming you have like a switch or a button or something on the wall. Or what's your action going to be from... Yeah, there's probably shortcuts that I probably could do well too. I got all these nice F keys up here. I always thought about maybe doing ESP32 with a bunch of buttons on it to do some MQTT commands or something. I mean, with like a bunch of touch sensors or something. Because you could just put wires off of them and use them as touch sensors. I have a rule that'll turn on and off from another sewn off to that bulb. Ah, okay. Yeah, I could 3D print something too, Will. Right? I have a rule that turn off. So if you're doing the button, so why wouldn't you? I wouldn't say. I guess where's node? You have a NodeRed come in and do something else, or are you just having a rule just go straight to MQTT over to that bulb? Because there's a couple ways to do it with MQTT. Yeah, you can. And actually, here's I have an example for you right here. I know it's kind of weird. So I have, and these are just test buttons. So I have a dimmer that had one of those dimmers with the 3 buttons. I don't know if I have one. It's way behind the screen. I would have to dig way back. But you know the dimmer I'm talking about, the Martin Jerry or the Asenex dimmer. Oh, look, I know that kid. This one right here. So I have this one on my wall, right behind me, and actually it's attached. It actually does the dimming of lights on a ceiling fan. So the 3 buttons do exactly like anybody else that came in the house would expect it to work. We're on, up, down, etc. You don't have to retrain anybody, but I stole the long presses from it. Yeah, this is it. So I stole the long presses. And you can see on rule, I know I went really quick, but here's the thing is, I need to make this bigger for you guys, right? A little better. I've never tried on the fans, Tim. I know everybody always says don't, because the way the dimming works doesn't play well with the fans that I have in the US that use capacitance to change the fan speed. I know I've heard of issues with it, so I've never tried. So what I did here is on switch. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Control plus and minus, and do like a pro, right? I just need I have a plotter at work, right? And I could take and like print like a 48-inch piece of paper with tons of like shortcut keys to put on my wall, and I could be the pro, the cheat sheet of shortcuts. So the switch 1 right here, it sends to a custom topic, which is the long press. Down bench / power, it sends a toggle. And you'll see stuck in this other rule that switch 2, state 3 is long press again. It sends power, it sends that same topic, it sends a down command, and then on the up, it sends a long press up. It actually sends an up, not command, I guess payload. And I showed Will this the other night, so he's probably over there sleeping. But so now in NodeRed, and you can put whatever topic you want. Let me get back to this, make it easy. So it's real simple. You'll notice, and it is case sensitive, down bench, it does a publish, and do a publish, don't do publish 2. And do this topic, and you can put whatever topic you want. And you can see here's the topic, down bench / power. So anything that comes across down bench / power, it comes into this block. So you kind of like, you think of it like the mailman or mail lady, the mail person, puts a letter, I'll put it in my terms, right? Drops a letter in this mailbox. And we don't know who it goes to yet. No, possible new NodeRed on an ESP32. Yeah, you can do probably like some automation, like off of ESP Home. ESP Home's great for the ESP32. So, but hold on to that, Bobby. So then the letter comes down here, and then there's a sorter. So here it is, right here, switch, and so it's toggle up or down. That's those same, and it is case sensitive again. It's the toggle up or down. So it's looking for if it's going to be toggled up or down. So if I do a toggle, and all these are, so because I was lazy, I didn't have to go reach across the room when I was testing this, so I could just hit toggle. So it just pushes in toggle, much like pushing the button was. So toggle, all it's going to do is just call a service of Home Assistant, and it's going to toggle this entity. It's just going to send a toggle to it. Now, what you could do on yours is you're wanting to turn it on, so you don't want to turn it off. So you want to do a toggle. So what you could do is when it's kind of like here, is if you have because you want to do the color, right? You want to, so when they push that button, it comes on at 100%. So what you could do is just off of here, and look, I'm gonna drag. This is gonna confuse all this to us right now. We'll drag this up here. So what you could do, and I won't deploy this on me in case. You could, you wouldn't have all this switch stuff. You could, if you just had like a simple toggle you're doing, just have it send over to it and just send straight to it. But what you'll want to do is you'll need to get the state. Because I don't think, because you can't just send it. I don't think you can send a toggle with a color. Can you? Can you send a light toggle? All turn on. Oh, you can. All turn on parameters can be used. Okay. That makes it even easier. So what you can do is we can do a turn on in the color, and I come where I find those is in here. Is it here? This one right here. The service. So we'll do a service of light dash dot toggle. Oh, I'm going to turn on. And if I missed anything, I know I didn't catch some of the chat. So the turn on, so the entity is going to be light bedroom lamps, we don't need that because that's going to get passed through on the entity. We just need the data of, let's just do a simple, you said you wanted to do 100% of white value, right? White value, let's do as 255. Now is there, you may have to do a color, you may have to pass the color temperature. I don't have a CW WW light here to see. You can once you make to figure these out, but you kind of get the gist of it. We'll pass over and I'll change one. We'll see how it works out. So we'll do white value 255 as on the toggle. NodeRed. And data is going to be here. And that you do need it in, this is the curly brackets. All right, so that's white value 255. So we'll hit done and deploy. And we'll toggle them right quick. They go off. And they come back on, fine. Let's do this. Let's go here, and this is the same entity, those lights. So we'll change them to a nice shade of red. Make me really crazy, right? You should be able to tell the difference. And then we'll just, this would be just like if I'm hitting toggle. I'd really make it weird if I turn green on. So it turns them off. And then it should come back, I'm hoping, to be white. Yep, and they are white. So that's cool. That actually saves you. You could actually just, you won't have to have this switch unless you want multiple commands. So you'll have to dig around in the data, but you saw where I did that. You have to dig around in, where'd it go? I close it. In the turn on parameters. So and I know it gets fussy if you kind of put too many that contradict each other and you'll get an error. I like to play with them in here. You can just come and pick, your light, and it automatically fills it out, and then you can just start picking stuff out and play around with it in here first, and then go put your stuff in the NodeRed. Now I'm a weird color, like blue and stuff. Their lights are white. That's weird. Maybe we'll turn them off again. Nope. It's gonna be me a weird color. The white balance is off, but that's fine. I'm like purple looking now. So there was another NodeRed. And if you get stuck, Sean, just feel free to hit me up on Discord. Should be fairly simple to get that going. That's a cool thing because now you've turned it down the color you want, but then someone else goes and turns it on, turns it off. You want it back 100%. So, the gate thing. Where was the gate? Is there an and gate? I think the basic pilot was talking about that. Is it just called gate or is it and? There's random. Maybe I don't have it. Was it gate? I must not have it. I don't know what component that is. I was thinking it'd be somewhere in one of these, like the join, split. Mine says and gate. You know where that came from? Let's go see where. I may not have. I configure nodes. Under logic. It'd be like doc that day. See, I don't have one that says logic. I have output, function, social, storage, analysis. Yeah, I don't have logic. It's somewhere that's some other palette that's in here. Gate. Nope. Y'all gonna have to figure out which one that's in. Let's see. Maybe we can Google for it. NodeRed and Gate. Oh, it's called Bool Gate. Look at that, Will. Not Will. I got y'all's icons confused there for a second. So Bool Gate. I should help if I'm in the right tab, right? Install. All right. Gate. I haven't messed with one of these yet. So what is this one? Input message topic. Message equals value, and then you just keep you keep adding stuff. Oh, so how's it? It's got to be under the same payload, wouldn't it? I haven't messed with that one. I'm gonna have to mess around with that and play around with that. But you got to think of the way NodeRed goes. Is it's probably gonna have to be two things in the same payload, because I'm gonna have to. So what are you trying to do exactly with it? You may have to email that to me, like a little screenshot, or that may be something better to play offline with that one, so I can kind of wrap my mind around that one. It's annoying me on purple now. My color's way off. Now let's put a square, and I screwed up with the putting the red lights. I don't think it messed it up. I don't know if it did. It turn on the other. I don't know. I'll mess with it later. I should have messed with my light. Yeah, I had it full white. So basically, if this is true and that is true, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That yeah, if you're trying to get two conditions to see, you know, that it hit the A has to be true and then B has to be true to make it go do C. So I'll have to I can mess around with that and see, like, you're wanting to say, I think maybe one. Here's an example would be, if the bathroom light is on and the humidity is above 90%, then turn the vent on. So that would be a good, because you wouldn't want the vent to turn randomly on unless the light wasn't on. So I've got one like that I can play with and see how we can figure that out with the AND gate. There's other ways to do it, but we'll try it with the AND. I'll try it with the AND gate. So I'll make a note of doing the AND gate thing. I'll go make me a note in Discord right now. Let's see. NodeRed and gate note for me. Okay. I'll see I'll see it in there later. There was another one that Tim had, was something about doing an automation. I don't have. Yeah, that was my first thing, was doing the stop statement, because I do have some like that where it kind of steps through, but I get kind of your thing and want to do the and. That'd be kind of cool. It's a good challenge. We'll see if it's something new to learn. Tim was talking about doing a simple note Alexa announcement on a binary sensor. I think you can, unless there's I know there's like a Google Say, I said the G word, but he shouldn't pick it up on me. I know there was one in here. I don't have it in there. There is a Google one in there, but there might be, and I keep saying the other word too. Oh, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Let's see if we'll get the... much appreciated. And don't let me forget, and that we will have to, we do have to try out Nightbot again. And unfortunately, Will can't hang around for that one, but I can't ship to, your accent doesn't trigger. I can't ship them to Canada. I'll go broke doing that. So I do had some other plugs if you saw them on there. NodeRed, a word. So there is one. There's a few of them on here. Now, of course, you could call straight. Well, I don't know how that works in Home Assistant. No accounting, no installation. What is this for? Does it call it? Oh, so these are stuff you're kicking out. Okay. No, we want to use the TTS. Is there one for TTS? I saw someone. Oh, look, right there. So there is Alexa TTS. Oh, I said it. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Manage palette. Let's just see what TTSs they have. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Poly. So I've used the Google one before. Text to speech. You may have to push something through Home Assistant to get it to call. I know there's one. I'm just not familiar with it with the Echo that much. I know the one with this one was kind of simple. Was dead simple. I used it, but I just have Home Assistant do it for me. Because like you just tell like here, just a simple. You just say call service, and put what speaker and say Google say. But I guess you can. Echo works with media player. Okay, so you could just call it on like a service in here, couldn't you? You should be there because that's all I'm doing is just saying call service, and then you'd say domain what media player, and then you'd pick one of the which I guess I probably don't have it in here, but you'd have to say one of the services for the A word. Yeah, so that you could do that, but then you could have what on to trigger it. Yeah, to trigger it, I guess I don't have it in my list because I don't have that configured. And then to trigger it would be whatever you want. You could trigger it based off of something happening in Home Assistant using the events or trigger state, or you could have it through an MQTT message, etc. So yeah, that's definitely doable in NodeRed if you want to make it, do some sort of announcement. So let's see if he's broken or not. That is the question. We'll see if, remember I had the issue that one night, it drove me, that annoyed me big time. So we'll see if that builds up. So, which it should, but it worked one day, that didn't work the next day, which was, look, there we go. So it is showing on there. Okay. The 52-inch HD TV giveaway. So I did promise that before, and I do want to do some stickers of some sort. I don't know what to do. Some different, like I've done some. No, we're gonna do something. I'll show you. Um, but they but here's what we got to figure out. So, and actually, GoSun sent these to me just for this, basically. And I had enough plugs to begin with, and suppose got to share the love. Good luck, all. Okay, so yeah, if you don't, if hopefully not the same people will get the same ones again, but so GoSun did send these to me, and they sent me 6 of them. So they sent me 4, then they sent me 2, then sent me 4. So now the only thing the bad thing of them, not to say not bad anything of them, because they are pretty cool plugs. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but we actually say we are gonna do. I want to do some stickers. So if y'all have any ideas on stickers, okay, Jerry, appreciate that. If y'all have any ideas on stickers, because we have 2 vinyl cutting machines, please send them to me. You can email me at the channel or digiblur@gmail.com. Yeah, in the same, I already we the last stream we ran to you convert on them. We ran to you convert on one of them on the stream, and I went ahead and ran to you convert on all of these. I wanted to make sure before we did anything with them at all, because I wasn't going to give them to you guys with. That's just not who we are, right? We got to have. So these do have 6.5.0 of Tasmota on them, and it is using the bin that I link directly in my To Your Convert video that has Wi-Fi Manager as default. So you guys can mess up these at all, totally. And they'll still come back and ask in a access point mode. So, but one thing I did like about these, which was cool, and I don't want to give everything away on something, is there's a red, not all plugs have that. There's a red and a blue LED in here, and you can control the red and blue LED, so you can really make purple as well. So it's not directly tied to the relay, which I thought was pretty cool as being able to do some things with. So they're 10 amp plugs. And so, yeah, again, if you got anything like I've made real quick before we do that, we're letting stuff build up here. And we only have a few people built up. Everybody left, dude. We got 30, it says 38 are watching. So, but you gotta chit chat in the last 5 minutes. But if material design icons, yeah, I don't want to give everything away, Matt, either. So you'll see something soon on that. So I have some ideas. So material design icon. I have done stuff off of here for printing, like stickers. If there's any other things y'all wanted to do, like I made like some bulbs, and I did them for my panels. I think it was light, actually. Yeah, like I did like a light bulb, and I cut those out in vinyl, and we actually have them on a touch panel, or you can put them on light switches or something too, or if you had like a fan. So if there's any other little icons y'all would want to do for like some different stickers, I mean, let me know, because I do want to include, and I would ship those, through the mail. It's just shipping a cheap plug like this just doesn't make economical sense to ship that international, because I end up spending more on the shipping than the actual product. So, all right, let's see. We've got a few folks here. And make sure, and if I roll it, and if you're not in the U.S., let me know. We can roll it again, unless you want to pay shipping. I don't want to, because I've just shipped these like the cheap rate through the post office. It only cost me a few bucks, which is still half the cost of one of these plugs. So, So the question is now, I squirreled myself there, is should we do them? Here's the issue. So I'm gonna do, let's see, I've got 4. I need to keep one for something. So we've got 4, y'all. We've got 4. We got 5. But here's the deal. So just to show you, we do have 5. The deal. I've got 5 of them, but I've only have this for boxes. I've got one single box. Y'all really need boxes? Or I've got a box for 4, and then one more single box. So do we want to do? My question is, do we want to do a 5, and then or a 2 and a 2, or what do y'all think? I don't know. Y'all just let me know. I'll do them singles. That gets more chance for thing to do, and just not everybody can use a plug somewhere to play around with. So send me all 4, huh? Look, they're already ready for you and everything. You don't have to convert them. So, one each single. So I got 1 vote for 2, and then 1 each. Yeah, I think this. I think the singles, that gives everybody more of a chance to get one. I know it's just a plug. I didn't pack those. My wife actually packed them, so no telling what she put in there or did whatever. So one per stream, no box. No, we're gonna do them all right now, man. Just go big. So we've got 16 people in here right now showing on here. So save 2 for the next stream. No, I got something else I'll do for the next stream. I need to clean stuff out. So we'll do something else then. So we're just gonna do the plugs for now. So we'll do the 5. We'll do the 5 plugs. So we'll do 5 right now. I need to keep 1. All right. So again, we're gonna roll it. US people, if you're outside, let me know. Otherwise, I can't ship it there because that would go broke. So here we go. 16, roll it. So Tim got 1. And let me make note of that. Make sure and send me your information on Discord. Or you can also email it to me. An autograph, eh? You can or you can email it to me here if you want. Or you can hit me on Discord. It's up to you. All right. So I have to figure out something for autograph or something like that. So okay, we'll do another one here, and we'll roll it. There's Sir Good Enough. And all right. Who else we got? I don't the /D. I need to do that command /D thing on for Discord. I need to do my commands on there, Sean. And I'll post the link to Discord after we do these. I'm killing everybody with anticipation. We'll roll it as J After Dark. J After Dark. He's probably sleeping on me. I saw unless he was up there somewhere. And ooh, that was my battery backup. I gotta do this quick. Power issues. Radio Nerd. We had a lot of weather issues, and I heard my battery backup just trigger, so hopefully I didn't drop anybody. I I might still radio nerd, but you'd have to just make sure and send me on Discord. All right, I think we got one more, and it'd be I'm gonna butcher. Don't get mad at me. I'm gonna butcher your name. Is Kim Yule? I am not good at names. Kimul Rojas, I guess I would say that. So that's the 5. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking here. We'll save it for next time. I got a shelf of stuff that I'm been needing to get rid of. So basically we've got the 5. You got Timma, and then Sir Goodenough, Jay After Dark, Radio Nerd, and Kimul. So very cool. So we'll get y'all send me. I guess y'all need the link for Discord. If you don't, and if you have any other questions, why I'm getting the link, because I'm an idiot and have not put in my commands yet. Too many things going on. Let me know. Well, I can get my links. Miscellaneous. Did you use your vinyl printer for fan? And yes, that was what I did. I used that vinyl printer for the panels. And I do want to update that. I'm trying to put it in the one I'm doing now. See if I can update for showing how to do 3 things on that Sonoff Basic R2. Which is still going to be around for a little bit. I know they got that R3 out, but I don't know how difficult it's going to be with the R3 to do what I was trying to do here. So, and I'm trying to find my text so I can send y'all the link. There's a non-expiring one. I'm going blank. Trying to find one thing and can't find it. Here we go. So the link, definitely need to put my rules in again. I missed like half the chat. What type of camera is your down shooter? The down shooter is actually I think it's the Logi. Let me see if I can find it here. A lot of people use the same one. We're using that Logitech. This one. Yeah, that C920. Is it this one? I think I got an S now. And then I found they had this one on sale on Black Friday. It was a 922. It was just a little bit upgraded, but I used a C920 that faces down, and then I used a 922 in the up, the one that faces me. So it's pretty good camera. So. And I kind of have it, yeah, Tim, let me put that on there for the bulb one. Light bulb stickers. Maybe we'll do that. That'd be the main cam Sinister. I was using the C922. I think that's the one I just linked to. It should, but if you go look at all the Logitechs, once you click on one of those cameras, you can scroll down and see all the different, they compare them and everything. So, and it's pretty clear camera, I think. Yeah, that's the 922, the one that's on me, and you don't want to know how many lights I have on me. So lighting is always has been the fun thing to try to get right with the green screen and everything. So, but it does pretty good. And the only thing I will say I don't like about the camera is the automatic on the down camera, probably because I'm too close. Now the one in front of me, I leave that one on autofocus and it's fine. I guess being the distance from me. But the down camera is the autofocus is not that great. I'm always having, if you've seen the streams before, I normally have my window. What I'm messing with is here. Let me drag it over there and you can see. Yeah, I noticed it. Probably if I locked in the color and the white balance on the camera instead of leaving all that on auto, I wouldn't have that issue. Or if I didn't play with my lighting above me. There's the 3 downlights I have over my desk, and I normally don't run them full out like I have right now. I only do it for the video. But this is what I mess with here. Yeah, probably if I would have changed the auto white balance was messed up. So, but I'm playing with, when I play with on the down camera, is I turn the autofocus off, because you can see. See how on auto you look at the Ghost Sun, it's not as in focus, but if you turn it back off and you can get it in focus, and I'll turn that light on too, you can probably see. And I do have there's a light above it, and so you can see those. They're pretty, and it does go pretty close. But again, let's see, make it full screen, right? But again, I do, now it's on an arm that it does move. It does go pretty close, and you can change and get really close on these guys. So, which is good. So, hey, thanks, Pranav, if I'm saying it correctly. I don't know if I'm me clicking around with the things. There you go. I appreciate it. So yeah, I do like the Logitech camera. I have had issues with the cameras being on the 2 cameras being on the same USB bus, and I had to take them off with a different USB bus to get them to work right. So, all right. Well, any other burning questions or anything that anybody has? Or thanks for getting the timer rule, copy the rule, cookbook. It was rule. Oh, so it was Rule 10? Did it not work? Oh, they've moved it. It used to be all on one page. There's a rule cookbook now? See, they're changing the thing up on me all the time. Oh, there it is, rule cookbook. Yeah, I can see that page was getting 2 minutes. How you back up HA and unRaid. Yeah, I can show you that again. Rule 10, simple staircase timer. Oh, look, it is. It is messed up. Hold on, let's do this. I wonder if they got a copy and paste error. This is the fun part, trying to edit this in. We're looking for a hashtag. It would be space hashtag timer. I wonder if that's actually not. It's usually supposed to be. I see there's all over the place. But see, I've always done rules timer. I wonder if that one's actually, there's something going on with that. Before I edit that, I want to go try and see, because that means there's several problems with those. I want to make sure that that's before I do that, before I make an edit on GitHub. I'll play. We know it doesn't work for that. Yeah, I'm gonna go try. I'm gonna go mess with it. I'll mess with it and see if that's actually an issue or it needs to be that way. Actually, let's look at with the revision on this page. Was it like that before? Because I would have sworn I've used that before. And it's cool that he broke it off into a... Oh, thanks, PM. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. I'm working on... Hopefully I'll get to work on one tonight. And it kind of goes along with the buttons. So... I wonder if he did when it pulled it out. Add all... Let's just try this one. I wonder when he did pull these out. I had been there to look at the rule. Okay, here it is. So it's rule 10. Is that going to link me back to the right? No, I can't use that. It's going to link me back to the regular version. I want to see if that's been messed up for a while. 10. Yeah, look at it. Here, whenever they moved it. You look at right here. You see it says on rules timer 1. So you found a bug in the documentation. I'll go through and I'll make a note of doing that. Anybody, if you have a GitHub account, anybody can go through and edit the wiki on Tasmota. And if they don't like the change or someone else doesn't like it, they can always roll it back as GitHub. So if you, yeah, I know. And I want if I can test some of those, or I can probably just put one up on one screen. I'll get it in the frame. Put one up on one screen, put one on the other screen, and kind of compare and see what the difference is. I wonder what chewed all those up. Something they were doing something with the formatting, and it solved something with that. It makes you wonder how many others are chewed up. I'll probably talk to Blackadder about it first before we do. So, and Jerry had a question about, I got the Home Assistant and unRaid, and then Jerry had a question about the sprinkler system in Node MCU. I have, this is of course a joke, I have quite the opposite problem for a sprinkler system. I think we've Comey River, we have quite the opposite problem due to all the rain we've gotten in the past couple of days. So this is a river that's not far from me. And but how many different, you got a bunch of different relays and things. If you're using just a Node MCU, I don't know. That's just tough to say. I might just because it's simple and I know how to do it with the GUI and everything. I would probably do it in Tasmota, but it's gonna be pretty much the same. 6 stations with an 8 relay board, and so you'd have like 6 Node MCUs. That's tough. Depends on really what you're more familiar with. I don't really see, and you're just basically gonna turn something on and off. And you're not going to have any type of buttons or anything. It's all the on and off is going to be handled remotely. Did the find like you did once you change one, you can go. Oh, okay. Okay, Matt. Yeah, if anybody else wants to go through and edit that stuff on the Tasmota wiki, I mean, by all means, go through and edit any of those. And put what you edited. So, okay, so six zones. See, I'm not from up to on my sprinkler thing. Like, so it's you just have 6 areas that are going to turn on using the 8-channel relay. So you're not using the other two channels. Yeah, and see, just me being, now, of course, my answer isn't always the right answer, or the answer fits everybody. Me just being more familiar with doing automations in NodeRed, I'm going to probably do it in, I would probably do it with Tasmota, and then I would basically have MQTT push straight to the Node MCU itself. And I probably wouldn't have Home Assistant much in play on things itself, except showing statuses, in the GUI. probably what I would do if I was doing that one. But you could also do it probably fairly easily with the relays in ESP Home as well. Yep. Okay, and the input options. Yeah, and the inputs. Oh, yeah. See, in the inputs, you just have regular on and off switches. So, see, there you go, 32 zone. Fred, you want the free method, or do you want the easy paid method? I use the easy paid method because I'm backing up a little bit more data than that. I showed it kind of in the first part of one of my other streams. It's what I was doing with okay, both. Is I was using Crash Plan Pro, which it was really simple to go install. You go. I mean, it's you go through here into apps, and type Captain Crash Plan, and find the crash plan, and then hit install, and it pulls the Docker down for you. And I just left all the I want to say all the standard stuff. I maybe changed. I don't remember if I changed anything. I don't think, maybe I didn't. And then once you go into the web UI, it's kind of weird because it's like kind of like a VM. But once you go, because it starts out like at home, and you got to put your account in and everything. I think they do have a trial, by the way. And if you got to start your backup, you got to pick what files you want. But what's weird, it'll start out in root, and it's actually the root of the Docker container, but it should be mapped. The storage folder should map to your mount of all of your files. So it's kind of like you have to go into storage to get to everything. So because it's like stepping out of the Docker container. But once you get into storage, then you can go do your app data, which app data does like all of my ESP Home stuff. It does my Home Assistant, and it does all. I just have it do all of app data. I think I turned off Plex because there's a ton of files in there that I don't really need. And I did a bunch of other stuff like pictures and everything. And then once you do that, it automatically it's just going to back up. And it does. And one thing I did like about Crash Plan was, of course, it jumps to this root again. See, go to storage. This is how you do it on a restore. And definitely go do a trial and go try a restore as well. Because you always want to try out your backup solutions. And what's cool is you can do versioning. So like ESP Home, I can come in here and see like this embossed ceiling. And you'll notice I can download right here, or I can hit the version, and it shows me I have two different versions to back up. I can restore. So it does versioning on the thing too. And it runs pretty good, and I haven't had any issues with it. I've used Crash Plan for a couple of years back, and I'm backing up 1.5 terabytes right now of data. And I do back up some of my computers to my unRaid server that then gets sucked into this backup. So another good one that I used to have set up is Duplicati. And you can, and it's pretty, I haven't done the install on it in a while, but Duplicati will let you back up to tons of different things, from Amazon Cloud Drive to Google Drive, etc. If you update HA, how it goes bad, how do you roll back a version? But yeah, look, there you go. Mike Walker's, he's got 4 terabyte in Crash Plan. And I think it's $10 a month per device, but I just have the one device, and it's $10 a month. And it's kind of one of those set it and forget it things. But Duplicati's a go one. I think Space Invader 1 probably has something on Duplicati, but it's not that. I don't remember it being that difficult, and you can back up stuff to like Google Drive and stuff. Oh, to do a rollback on Docker, it's simple. So say if I want to roll back Home Assistant. So went to 9 something and it's bad. Well, what you'll do, and we'll roll back my dev version here. It shouldn't hurt anything or blow it up, right? Is if you click the link right underneath, and it'll bring you straight to the Docker hub of that Docker container. If you scroll down, you look for tags, and you can see there's a tag. Well, the tag you're using is actually right here. It's called latest. Well, you just go pick the version you want. If you want to roll back to version 063, you can. Now, your data files may not like it if you roll back that far. That's the one issue you have there. But always just before you roll back and roll forward as well, I would make a backup of like all your configuration YAML and all your automations, etc. But to roll back, what version is this now? Yeah, see, like we're on 9.2. Well, and all you do, and I won't do it since you said you know how to do it already, but all you do is you go in here and hit edit, and make sure advanced is turned on. There's like a little, it's off to the left. It probably goes off to frame. Turn advanced view on, and you should be able to edit it. And it says repository, and just take latest off and put the version you want. And then hit apply, and that's it. And it'll go through, it'll pull that new container and start it up for you if I think you had it started, and it'll pull that version you want, and that's it. So I love it for being able to just go in real quick, click, copy and paste, boom, and roll back a version. Super simple. One of the plus sides of not doing the HASS.io thing, I'll say. So you can just quick control, and something goes bad, you can roll it back in a matter of 30 seconds or less. So. All right, let's see. We have been online for how long, everybody? Learnt. There you go. I like the word learnt. It's always good. And we're almost we got 50 more seconds. We have to hit the 2-hour mark, right? So next time we're gonna do 108. It says 118 minutes. See, it shows, I don't want to hit that button. $119, there we go. I can't divide. There's my dashboard. Yep, it shows because it's showing 2 hours here. So, quick question, I got a quick question for you guys. Has anybody messed with the eTech City light switches? I looked at some of the, oh, thanks, Paul. I looked at some of the FCC pictures, and it looks like they are using an ESP8266 in some of their light switches. I've got a light switch here I want to mess with. It's eTech City. But they don't use the Tuya apps. I don't think I can use Tuya Convert on it. So they're eTech City. And that's I don't know if I get the brand right around. So this is supposed to be a 3-way light switch. So yes, it is the 29th. Yep, and I 29 and have grandkids. So so I didn't know if I didn't see any of those in the templates, but I may have to do some manual soldering on those. Go the old way, right? Since Tuya Convert has us all spoiled. So we hit the 2-hour mark, so I guess you'll see how I'll get to see how they work out. I don't know I don't think they're Walmart brand though. I don't think the Walmart brand uses those mercury or the greener or something like that. Yeah, I saw them on Amazon. They kind of use a cool. They use a cool little switch that is a capacitive touch, and I'll get to. If I open them now, I'm gonna mess with them tonight. I know I'm gonna do it. I know it. 3 more hours to bet Frank. Frank does some crazy long streams. That's amazing. That's all I gotta say. Amazing. So, hats off. I don't wear a hat right. I hadn't worn a hat forever. But hats off to Frank. So, yeah. But oh yeah. Age-wise, look, you make me break. I see. I don't remember people's ages, nor do I remember my own. So, if we do, here we go. So it's 2019 minus. There you go. So 42. See, I don't remember people's ages, and I was like, well, you don't remember? No, that's the kid that's 98. Oh, that's the kid that's born in 95. So I don't remember their ages. I just remember when they're born in their years. It's just one thing to keep up with. So yeah, I try to keep it that way. PM, just a kid. I have a big gap in kids from one that was, like I say, born in 95 and then one that was born in 2014. So my son's nephew is, my son's nephew is 3 weeks younger than him. So it is the right way. So it's funny that he actually, it's people at the playground and stuff, he'll sit there and say, you've probably seen my son in some of the videos and things, but he said he'll tell people, that's my uncle, that's my nephew, and so it's kind of funny to see him say that. So, all right, guys, I've been on here 2 hours now. I appreciate the birthdays and fun hanging out with you. Got to hang out with everybody today. Hang out with the family. Hang out with the other families here. Did you bring a towel? Yeah, that would be a lot. So I'm assuming your towel of like getting whippings with a towel. I'm assuming, Mike. If I caught that one right. So, but I'll get the plugs. Don't forget to, thanks Phil. Don't forget to hit me on Discord. The 5 people. What time? It is 11:36 p.m. and I still have some stuff to do for a project tomorrow to get out the door. So, got Tim, Sir Goodenough, Jay After Dark, Radio Nerd, and Camille. Definitely hit me up on Discord. And y'all take it easy and y'all take care.